Time to set the field for Sunday's race here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series teams on this tricky 1 mile oval. 45 teams and drivers are here for 43 spots. Beautiful summer day here in New Hampshire. Temperature just about 80 degrees. Very little chance of rain all weekend, in fact. So we're going to find out who the quickest is in qualifying here on this 1 mile racetrack. I talked about it being a tricky track. Larry McReynolds, Jeff Hammond, they're always tricksters.
I knew you were going to do that.
Predictable. 10 different winners in the last 10 races. 8 different pole winners in the last 8 races. Tough racetrack.
And I tell you what, it never fails that who maybe is the fastest in practice may not be the fastest when qualifying's over, because it is a very tricky racetrack. It's a very line sensitive, hit your mark, and the biggest thing that driver has to do during this qualifying run is be a little bit patient. Don't overdrive the entrance of the corner, and there's no question the money lap for most of these guys will be the second lap. It's going to have to come to you on lap 1, and then you'll get after it on lap 2.
So Jeff, in other words, it's very different than what we saw on the road course at the Infineon Raceway. We saw guys wrestling the car there. Not here. You've got to be very precise.
You need to be very precise. You're exactly right. And again, thing you mentioned Infineon, because to me, coming into Loudon this weekend, there's a lot of guys kind of riding a wave of momentum coming in here. Jimmy Johnson, for example, he was very fast in practice, along with Juan Pablo Montoya, who was also good at Infineon. But when you get here, this will be the kickoff of the chase for the final 10 races. So a lot of teams right now, engineers, crew chiefs, they're trying a lot of different things. They want to make sure they have a very good qualifying lap, not only for this race, but all the information they can ascertain, so that when they get back here and start that chase, they're ready here at Loudon when it really matters the most.
Well, Tony Stewart will be the first driver to roll off. The second is scheduled, and I say scheduled to be Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's got some issues with that 88 car. Marty Snyder is with him.
And he has been excused. That's the best news Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s gotten all day long. You don't have to worry about being on the 5-minute clock once Stewart rolls here. What was going on with your race car today?
Well, we got in race trim and we're working on it a little bit, and it was good. We went into qualifying trim and broke a fuel pump cable and tried to fix it, and went back out and lost fuel pressure again. So those guys tore the whole fuel system down, and they're rebuilding it right now to try to get the car ready for qualifying, and we'll just see what we got. I don't know whether this draw will be good or bad, but we'll just have to see.
Well, the one thing you do have is momentum lately. 11th last week. Gave us some good runs lately, huh?
We've been running better. I wouldn't call that momentum. I think everybody.
It's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, but everybody still expects a lot more than that. But we feel good about what we're doing to get ourselves back into the chase, and hopefully that works out.
All right, as you hear, Tony Stewart is fired up. First car's rolling, Steve.
All right, thank you, Marty. As we said, 45 teams, 45 drivers.
You know what Tony did? He looked over and he saw Dale Jr. talking.
So he cranked it up.
He cranked it and said, hey, take you some of this.
But just to expand on that, a lot of the series around racing, be it the kart, Indy cars, even the drag cars, NHRA, they have used for a number of years. The fuel pump is driven by a cable, not a mechanical fuel pump. Something that NASCAR wrapped their arms around with the help of a gentleman by the name of Sid Waterman a few years ago. And actually, there's no mechanical fuel pump even on the right side of the engine. It's driven off of a cable off the back of the camshaft. Once in a while, we hear of these cables actually breaking.
And they'll probably get to the bottom of that and get it all taken care of, but it's not something that's easy to fix either, so it takes a little bit of time to do. As we watch our first car out, Tony Stewart, and I want to bet you he's not very happy about that draw.
First one to go out. It's been a great racetrack for Tony Stewart. He's led the most laps in 5 New Hampshire events, 11 top 5 finishes in 22 races.
Now, he was 4th quickest in practice at a 28.87, first lap of 29.30. Now, he definitely could pick up those 3 or 4 tenths to get back to what he practiced, but as I said earlier, it's hard to back up what you run in practice when you go out to qualify on cold tires. And he does not get back there, 29.16. So, Jeff, he's actually about 3 tenths off what he ran in practice earlier.
Like I say, I don't think he was going to like this draw, and it's going to be one of those things you're going to have to deal with, but it'll be interesting to see how the next few cars stack up against him.
You know, guys, we always talk in tenths of a second. That's the language in the garage. I just want to tell people at home how fast that is, because it gives you an idea on a 1 mile racetrack that's relatively flat, 130.599 miles per hour.
They get it done around here. Got a new driver here in the 83 car this weekend, the Red Bull. Reed Sorensen will get an opportunity to wheel this car over the next 3 weeks. And he didn't have what you call a great practice session. He was 34th in that first practice session. See if he can find some speed here.
I think right now this is a 3-race deal for Reed here at Daytona next week and Chicagoland Speedway. But the crew chief on this car, who is now Jimmy Elledge, Reed and Jimmy actually worked together for a couple years over there at Ganassi Racing, a lot like what Casey Mears and Jimmy Elledge did.
Best finish of 6th here in 8 New Hampshire starts.
Guys, he was actually a little bit quicker than Tony Stewart on his first lap.
And he's actually already quicker than he was in practice. 29.22 on lap 1.
He just got out of his Nationwide car to come over and qualify this 83 car. So we're going to find out if it may have been a plus or a negative here.
He actually slows down on lap 2.
Take a break. When we come back, we'll see Kevin Conway, Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards, and Jeff Burton. Stay with us here on Speed. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from New Hampshire is presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 footlong subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. Kevin Conway in the number 34 car, the next out to qualify. Just one Nationwide Series start for Kevin at New Hampshire.
Kevin was 44th quickest out of our 45 cars that are here. 2 cars will go home.
Also joining us during qualifying is Matt Yoakum.
And catching up with Tony Stewart. An early draw, they hindered smoke, but describe your qualifying effort. Were you better at one end versus the other?
No, it's just slicker now. So, you know, our balance was still the same as what we were in practice. Just we just ran a slower lap because of the heat.
All right, thanks, Tony.
Everybody, thanks.
Yeah, you saw that track temperature when you described the weather, 121 degrees. That's not going to have a lot of grip at 121 degrees track temp.
Doesn't have a lot of grip when it's cool.
No.
It's a flat racetrack.
Yes,
but
sir.
Again, looking up the sky, if there's going to be a benefit, there's some clouds here. Some of these guys going later on, it may continue to build some clouds, may cool off just a little bit. And believe it or not, Steve, if you get the temperature and get the track to drop 2 or 3 degrees, it could be worth, you know, a couple of tenths.
Back to Marty.
Well, let's hang out with Elliott Sadler for a little bit and his white sunglasses, and I'm sure you can wear those on trackside tonight.
Run over here.
Hey, last time we saw you, you and your friend Jeff Gordon weren't getting along so well. Where's everything stand now with you guys?
I don't know. I told him the way I felt. I just, you know, I'd never raced him that way. And for him to come in there and just take me and Clint Boria both out was, I thought, uncalled for. So that's kind of where we left it. We hadn't talked about it, but I'm going to stand my ground. You know, I deserve to be out there just as much as anybody. We're going to race hard. But as far as giving and taking, that's not going to happen much anymore.
Real quick, speed-wise for you, car looked very good today, was it?
It was. Stanley Ford drove good today. Guys, we came up here with a little bit different package, and it seems to be working out for us. So not a great draw, but we'll go give it the best lap we can.
Tell you what, Steve, they were in the top 5 for much of practice today.
Yeah, they were good at Nationwide practice as well, Marty. We watched Greg Biffle, former winner here. He won in 2008.
You know, you notice they've got the American Red Cross paint scheme, and here is a staggering number that I learned about the American Red Cross this week. More than 39,000 blood donations are needed every day in the United States. Greg's first lap, a 29.54, puts him 3rd quickest.
Got a little loose coming off turn 2, it looked like. A little wiggle.
Yeah, and he was flirting with the pole right there just late at the end of the back straightaway. Gave it back a little bit, but he rolled out of it early to see what he can do getting off the exit.
Yeah, it did not get through the middle of 3 and 4 or exit of 4 very good. That's where he's going to stay, is 3rd quickest at a 29.36. So he's about 2 tenths off what he ran in practice.
And the thing is, right there backs up what Tony Stewart was saying. The racetrack's sitting there, gotten hotter, gotten slicker, and we're seeing a lot of cars right now, you know, slowing down because of that. Here's a guy that's going to maybe benefit from having a little bit of a problem early on. Dale Earnhardt Jr. getting ready to jump in his ride.
He was scheduled to go out second, but he was excused by NASCAR because of that
cable problem. Yeah, the cable.
But you can see them hurrying along. Even though NASCAR excuses you, they still monitor you closely and make sure that you're not just dillying around, as Jeff pointed out, with letting the track cool down or maybe getting a cloud cover. They're going to make sure you keep after it.
That's normally when Larry pulled his little deal about
Shenanigans.
he'd fall down and find something else wrong. You know, just wait a minute, you know.
How did I get drugged into this?
I've seen you operate. Speaking of operate, look at that 99 down the back straightaway, guys.
Carl Edwards will join us on trackside. You'll see that at 11 Eastern tonight. Carl, 12th in points, but just 57 points to the good.
And Larry, that 99 rolled through the center of that corner about as good as you'd ever want to see one here. He's flirting right there with it.
Oh, he's on the pole. That's lap 1. He beat Tony Stewart by a good little over a 10th.
29.087 seconds. You hear Bob Osborne tells him P1.
See if he can do it again here, guys. Can he better what he done on first? Now he bobbles a little bit right through the middle of 3 and 4.
It's like he tried to.
Just got loose second lap. Good job, guys.
Got a little bit greedy, tried to get a little bit more.
Yeah, he lost 0.3 on the second lap when he got loose. But quickest of the 5 drivers who have qualified coming up, Jeff Burton, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. The race on Sunday is sponsored by Lenox, and they're also the sponsor on that 31 car of Jeff Burton driving out of the Richard Childress Racing stable. And what a record Jeff Burton has here in New Hampshire. 4 wins, including 1 race where he led all 300 laps in September of 2000.
Yeah, the one race that we wound up running a restrictor place here at this 1 mile racetrack. He is Mr. New Hampshire when it comes to getting around it. Gets a little bit loose off of turn 2.
It's almost like the track is starting to come in now. Those first 3 or 4 guys had to suffer through the fact that even though we just finished up Nationwide Series practice, it still had lost a little grip. And he's going to be fastest on his first lap at a 29.073.
563 starts to his credit in his Sprint Cup Series career, and he made start number 1 back in 1993 here on the Magic Mile.
But Larry, he was 9th quickest at a 28.94, and he still hasn't gotten back to what he had run earlier in practice. Let's see what he can do on the second lap.
Picks it up a little bit to 29.05. We still have not had a car run in the 28 yet.
Picked up just 200s. Let's go back to Marty.
Well, Steve, over the last few years, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone better at New Hampshire than Kurt Busch. And again today, 3rd fastest in practice. But the early draw, you a little bit worried about that?
No, it shouldn't be too bad. I see Jeff Burton just posted a pretty good time, and it's just always tough to back up your practice speed here in New Hampshire, and when you try to overdrive it, you only end up slowing up. So hopefully we'll just stick with our plan here. We're a little bit on the loose side, and it should just come right into play for us on our Miller Lite team.
Hey guys, Kurt mentioned it, exactly what you were talking about. Can't overdrive the lap here at New Hampshire.
Nope, and if you don't overdrive it on lap 1 and you think you can pick up a little more, that's when you'll get in trouble. Possibly what just happened to Carl Edwards a second ago in that 99 car.
Slow down and go fast.
New Hampshire's also been a track where Denny Hamlin's had success. He won here in 2007. Finished 2nd here in September last year.
Coming off of a very dismal weekend at Infineon Raceway. Ended up finishing 34th. Couple of crashes. In fact, who would ever believe that the highest finishing Joe Gibbs car at any racetrack, regardless road course or not, would have been 33rd. That's where Joey Logano in that 20 car finished last week.
Right now, Denny is 2nd quick on that first lap. And guys, I think this is a great racetrack for him to come back to rebound from all that dismal weekend at Infineon, because he is one of the best flat track racers in the business.
You know, Jeff, I asked J.D. Gibbs on Race Hub on Wednesday, you know, how does your team rebound from a weekend like that where all 3 of them had a tough day? You know what he said? something you guys have said for years. Don't panic.
That's exactly right.
Just
we're
race.
Going back to a little flat 1 mile track now.
Denny Hamlin's second overall for the first time. Barrett Jackson, the world's greatest collector car auctions on speed, comes to Orange County. Hundreds of restored and rare cars will be auctioned off to the highest bidders. Catch 3 days of live coverage with expert commentary. Barrett Jackson, Orange County, kicks off tonight at 5 Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
See Mark Truex Jr. wiggling that car down the back straightaway, trying to get a little heat in those tires. We've talked about it. You know, if you can get them warmed up enough, maybe this first lap will be the quickest.
A lot of mad race car drivers leaving Infineon. I think he might have been leading the way among the maddest.
I don't know. I think if you had to do a thermometer check on he or Elliott Sadler, it'd be pretty close. Basically, this is Mark Truex Jr.'s one of his home race tracks. Whoa, he locks that left front up trying to get into turn 3.
Just a little too deep getting in the corner, but the good news is don't overdrive the interest. The good news is that was lap 1. Maybe he learned from his mistake there. Is he'll be 5th quickest on lap 1 at a 29.21.
3 top 5 finishes here at New Hampshire for Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, he won here in the Nationwide Series in 2005. He won here in the NASCAR K&M Pro Series East, driving for his dad, Martin Truex Sr. He's actually even raced a Wayland modified car here.
He locked it up just a little bit compared to that last lap. Can't quite get off that corner, though.
You could see it just got loose and really wiggled with him right in the middle as he picked the gas up in 3 and 4.
Martin Truex Jr., 5th overall. Let's take a look at what happened as he charged into turn 3 seconds ago.
Locked him up. Smoke him if you got him.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. scheduled to go out second, now takes his qualifying attempt. He's the 9th driver to qualify. Four starts of 3rd, his best starts here on the Magic Mile.
Yeah, he was only 32nd quickest in that practice, but I think they've maybe caught up with the fastest man so far down there.
There we go. Absolutely right, Larry Mack. 4 wins for Jeff Burton. Is this the toughest place we go, though, to have an early draw with the track changing?
A lot of times it is. Hopefully today it won't be, but I'm afraid it will be. You know, everybody's over here saying the same thing, just real low on grip. But, you know, I've qualified really well here before and went out early, but typically going out late's a good thing. But, you know, the draw is a draw. I thought we did okay from where we ran in practice to go out that early. I thought we did okay, but it'll be what it'll be, and we'll make it work on Sunday.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
If anybody but can, he can.
Checkered flag for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Picked up just a hair on his second lap, 5/100ths. So he's 7th overall of the 9 drivers who have qualified.
But that was better than what he'd practiced at.
About a 10th better. And the biggest thing,
Out, getting into 3 on that second lap.
the fuel pump cable kept turning. See right here, Kyle Busch not leaving pit road like you would at a lot of racetracks, trying to get those tires scrubbed in, get a little bit of heat in them.
Interesting note about Kyle Busch. A year ago, he and Jimmy Johnson, the only drivers to have top 10 finishes in both New Hampshire races.
You know, in Nationwide Series practice, we were talking all about his laps led, but when you think about Kyle Busch, he has 202 career Sprint Cup Series starts. He's 9 laps away from leading 5,000 laps in the Sprint Cup Series.
Want me to whip out my little Nationwide Series stat?
Maybe tomorrow during the Nationwide Series qualifying. I do know he's led more than 91 laps in the Nationwide Series race 34 times.
Thank you, Larry.
I believe he's got it down.
And if he leads 91 tomorrow, he will become the all-time lap leader in the Nationwide Series, passing Mark Martin.
Pretty good first lap, 29.14 for Kyle. That puts him 4th quickest.
Sneaking up her a little bit each time. through 3 and 4. Now he slides up here. He's fast enough right now to take the pole away from Jeff Burton.
I think he got in too good. It just could not come out the other end of it.
Yep, lost a little bit on exit. 4th overall for Kyle Busch, who has 1 New Hampshire pole. And we go back to Marty.
One guy they may have to watch for the pole might be Mark Martin. Fast today in practice, and our race trim was very good. How was it in qualifying trim, Mark?
It's pretty good. Real proud of these guys. They've been working on this CarQuest, GoDaddy.com Chevy, trying to close the gap. We've been off on speed the last several weeks, and they've really, it shows promising. Looked really good today, and look forward to working more tomorrow on things. And I'm just really proud of this team, how they dig, and it's fun to go to work and work with them every weekend.
I was just talking to Mark, and he told me, we're just a little bit off. Had a little bounce in the step. Nice to see you down here on pit road, guys.
Well, yeah, he was in the top 10 in practice, and it's actually been a while since we've seen him up there on the practice sheet.
They have struggled a lot like Elliott Sadler here. It's good to see this 19 car as quick as it is off the truck early today.
Elliott had a top 10 finish here in September. Finished 8th.
He was 18th quickest in practice earlier.
He got a little bit loose getting off of turn 3 and 4 right there. See what he did on the second lap. First lap, good enough for 8th.
29.231 for Elliott on lap 1.
After Elliott Sadler, we'll see David Gilliland, Kevin Harvick, and Jamie McMurray.
Drove it down in there. Whenever that tracker goes way to the left, getting down into the middle of the corner, more than likely it's going to go back to the right on the exit.
And Elliott loses a little bit on that. So he is 8th of 11 drivers who have qualified. Jeff Burton is the man to beat here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. David Gilliland was very quick in Nationwide Series practice today. Top 5. See what he does here in the Sprint Cup Series.
Yeah, that was actually in that first Nationwide Series practice, and they elected not to even run the second practice for a couple of reasons. Pretty quick, and I think he wanted to keep the feel that he had in the Sprint Cup Series car from the practice we had earlier with this series. Little work to do, though, from practice with the Sprint Cup Series car. He was 37th quickest. 29.55, that's 11th out of the 12 cars, just in front of his teammate Kevin Conway.
And that is slower than what he practiced at earlier today also, so still got work to do.
Saw it go 2 or 3 spots to the left getting in, but just hard to get off the corner, especially off a turn 4. You just start losing grip over there.
And he loses a bunch on his second lap.
So he'll be 11th out of the 12 cars.
Sprint brings you an inside look at what is happening now inside the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Points leader Kevin Harvick up next. Michelle Pennzoil Chevrolet.
He was happy with his Nationwide car, but he said this one here was a little bit too free today, and his practice speeds kind of reflected that. 24th quickest.
Yeah, he was quickest in final Nationwide Series practice, and I think second quickest in that first practice earlier today.
Right now, Larry, if he can continue doing what he's doing right now, again, watch that tracker. It's moving to the left. If he can just get off of turn 4, might be a pretty good lap for the 29 car.
It's going to be a pretty good first lap for him. Puts him 5th quickest at a 29.15.
And that is just a little bit quicker than what he practiced at.
Tell you what, he picked the throttle up good down there in the middle of 1 and 2, but the car got real tail happy late exit of 2. And that kills the speed all the way down that back straightaway.
Harvick has a win here back in 2006.
Yep. Still loose, guys.
The minute he picks the throttle up, coming off the corner, So he'll slow down a little bit. So right now, 5th quickest for our points leader.
5th of 13. Let's go back to Marty.
Well, Jeff Gordon was 6th fastest in practice earlier today. How was the car in race trim? I know it was pretty good in qualifying trim.
Yeah, we're just trying some stuff out, you know, to get ourselves prepared for tomorrow's race practices and try to learn some things before winning the qualifying trim, and felt like we did that. So we weren't bad with DuPont Chevy, and you know, we were 6th up there on the board. So it's always hard for me to judge where we really stand when it comes to qualifying here. This place, when everything sits out here on pit road, can be a little bit different of trying to find the grip. So we're hoping we've got the grip, put down a couple good laps.
I talked to him about trying to hit that perfect lap, guys, and he said almost impossible here in New Hampshire, but when you hit it, you know it.
And the thing about Jeff Gordon, he is one of 4 drivers who compete all 30 of the events here. Jeff Burton himself, Bobby Labonte, and Joe Nemechek, the other drivers. A lot of experience there.
And Joe Nemechek actually won a race here. Driver for Felix Sabates.
Yep, number 42.
Bell South.
Bell South. Very good, Steve Burns.
Yep.
Jamie's first lap, 29.19 for this one car. That puts him 8th quickest. He was pretty happy with his car in practice earlier today when we talked to him.
You know what interesting about Jamie, he's never had a top 10 start here, and in fact, just 2 top 10 finishes.
His crew chief, Kevin Mannion, and the car chief on this car, Gary Putnam, together they own a modified car. It's actually on the pole for that race with Ryan Newman driving it.
Jamie McMurray, 8th overall of 14 drivers who have clocked in. Jeff Burton, still the quickest in his Lenox Chevrolet. Kurt Busch in the number 2 car, the Miller Lite Dodge. 3 times a winner here at Loudon, New Hampshire.
I tell you, this has been a good track for Kurt. If you just look at his last 4 races here, he has a win, a 3rd, and 2 6th-place finishes.
Started in the top 5 in both races here last year.
Just about ran out of racetrack off turn 2 right there coming onto the backstretch. He was using her all up.
Kurt Busch, the 15th driver to qualify of 45.
He goes to the top, the first car to run in the 28s, 28.84 on lap 1. Which is about what he practiced. He was 3rd quickest at a 28.85, so he backs it up.
He's qualified in the top 3 in 4 of his last 5 time trial sessions.
You know, he also has a win here in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series back in 2000. Slows down about a 10th, but right now he is the quickest.
28.84 on your first lap. Good job. That backs up practice.
Steve Addington telling him within about a 1/100th.
Up next, Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. Jimmy will be followed by Joey Logano, A.J. Allmendinger, and Brad Keselowski. Jimmy won both races here in 2003 and hasn't won here since that time, but his last 6 races, he's finished 5th, 6th, 9th, 2nd, 9th, and 4th.
Pretty consistent, I'd say.
Yes, sir.
He was 2nd quickest in practice, and his time was a 28.84, which is exactly what Kurt Busch ran just a second ago. Now, Jimmy was not up there, but this team earlier in the week tested up at North Wilkesboro Speedway. They were up there doing some A-Bing and B-Cing. They took Landon Castle up there.
Right.
A lot of people starting to use that racetrack a little more for testing.
I think it's a great place if you know what you're looking to try to accomplish there. It's really a cool deal. Right now he completes that first lap. He's 2nd quickest.
I'd like to see a race there.
They're racing a bunch of different series there. A lot of different series are starting to go back there.
All right, let me correct myself. I want to see a Sprint Cup Series race there.
Now you tell me.
You and a lot of people.
Matter of fact, we had an interesting piece on Race Hub Wednesday. We asked the drivers, which track not currently on the schedule would you like to see a Cup race at? And Jamie McMurray said Wilkesboro. Jeff Burton said Nazareth. because he says it's the craziest track he's ever been to.
Who won the last race at North Wilkesboro? They ran there in 1996.
Jeff Gordon.
He did.
Gordon.
He did.
Next.
I'll come up with something during the next break. Jimmy Johnson ends up second quickest. Actually picks up to a 28.97 though on lap 2.
Hey, later tonight, join us for trackside. Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards will join us on our Friday night house party, and it airs tonight at 11 Eastern here on Speed.
He's going to teach Larry Mack how to do a backflip.
That'll be good.
I don't think that's going to happen.
So it's Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Burton.
You know, trackside is tonight at 11 o'clock, but this coming Monday night at 10:30 on Speed, it's NASCAR Hot Wired. Joey Logano will be the guest on that show.
Be exciting. Former winner here last year. Guys, you realize he was the youngest guy to win here in Sprint Cup history. At 19 years old, he was able to win here in June.
Just barely topped out Kyle Busch being the youngest winner.
He looked a little apprehensive about the lobster in Victory Lane.
No, he looked a lot apprehensive.
Thank you.
That lobster was about as big as he was.
Probably weighed as much as Joey does.
Tell you what, pretty good lap on lap 1 for Joey. 29 flat puts him third quickest. He spun out right as practice started earlier today with his 20 car, but no damage.
2/10 quicker than what he ran in practice.
Old track starting to come around here now.
Joey Logano stays in the third position behind Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson. Still a long way to go. Coming up, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, and others. 43 car being wheeled by A.J. Allmendinger. A.J. the 18th driver to qualify. Has 5 starts here in New Hampshire.
He's 14th quickest in practice. Set on the pole at a fairly similar racetrack back in the spring at Phoenix.
Finished 13th on the road course at Infineon last week.
He's had just some good solid runs here lately.
5th straight top 15 finish for Allmendinger.
Car took a little bit of a bobble right there in the middle of turn 3, and it's going to hurt him on the exit of 4. Reflects it as far as his qualifying effort. He's 15th quickest right now.
Which when you get off like that off of turn 4, coming to take the white flag, it really hurts your second lap too, because it hurts the front straightaway speed.
Larry, I don't think we can overemphasize how important it is getting off of these corners, because these straightaways are so long. You give up so much speed if you can't get back to the throttle and really get it going down through here.
Picks it up a little bit though to 29.21. That puts him 12th.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, he knocked off the 2 fastest laps. Kurt Busch, the driver with the best average start of anybody so far in 2010 in Sprint Cup. What's been the change for your team? It's been impressive this year.
Fridays have been good to us, and it's just been Steve Addington's experience level. He gets excited for Fridays, and I keep telling him Sundays are a bigger day. But no, really, the car stuck well, even though the track conditions were warmer. I knew I couldn't overdrive the car and expect any more than what we did in practice. And Steve made a couple of adjustments. My guys are all clicking on 8 cylinders. It just hopefully you keep this rolling. And right now, it was important for us to get a good qualifying spot in for this weekend, because when we come back here in the chase, this will be hopefully where we start again.
He started 3rd and 4th here a year ago, currently on the pole. Marty?
Rolling down the qualifying line with Matt Kenseth. Let's see how this interview goes. First of all, crew chief change for you this week. Why was that?
I don't know. Just
well, you're the boss.
No, I'm not. Just mix things up a little bit. You know, we got a lot of good things going on at Roush Racing. Got a lot of good experienced people there that are capable of doing a lot of different jobs. So when we moved Todd in that role, you know, Todd is very capable and did a really good job for us. And we had Jimmy in R&D as well. So just try that and see if we can get the team headed in the right direction. So Jimmy, I've known for a long time. You know, he's a great crew chief. So hopefully I can get this stuff figured out and get the car running a little better.
How was the car today?
Today has been a little bit of a challenge. I think we learned a few things, hopefully, in race practice that'll help us tomorrow. To be honest, until we get done qualified, I don't know whether it's been a good day or a bad day until we see what our lap was. But it's been a little bit of a challenge. This isn't my best place by any means. So hopefully we can get a mistake-free lap here and get a decent time.
All right, guys, always nice when you can put a familiar voice on the other end of the line when you got our new crew chief, isn't it?
It is, Marty, and Brad Keselowski picked up over 4/10 on his second lap. He is 4th overall in his Dodge.
And when practice ended, just a few minutes before that practice that we had earlier, Brad actually got into the wall going down the back straightaway. Now back to Matt Kenseth, who Mark Martin started his run. The Jimmy he's talking about is Jimmy Finning, who was the championship crew chief for Kurt Busch in 2004. And Jimmy and Matt actually worked together in 2006 in the Nationwide Series. They got 3 wins that year.
I heard you mention during Cup practice earlier that essentially Todd Parrott and Jimmy Finnick will swap roles.
Yes, they will.
And I got a chance to talk to Jimmy Finnick about that. He and Matt have been working on some stuff. They've been up to Milwaukee. We talked about testing Milwaukee. So maybe they thought they could transfer some of this stuff here to Loudon this weekend. And guys, there's Jimmy Finnick right there, crew chief on that 17 car, watching Mark Martin. Now, we talked about the youngest driver to ever win here at New Hampshire. You want to talk about the oldest guy to win here at New Hampshire?
The guy on the right.
Yeah, the guy on the right there driving that 5 car. Mark Martin at the age of 50 was able to win a year ago. So the youngest and the oldest all in the same year here at Loudon.
Well, he's working on a pole run here. He was second quickest on lap 1 at a 28.85. Boy, just not going to quite get there, it doesn't look like. Slows down just a little bit to a 28.88.
Lost just a bit on exit, Mark Martin did. And as Jeff said, he got the win here in September, led 68 laps.
There, Alan. Sorry, Mark, wrong channel. 28.85 and 28.90. P2, nice job. Oh, thank you. I thought you was mad and wouldn't talk to me because it was so bad. Thanks, buddy. No, I just was stupid and headed on the wrong channel, but good job, man. It was a nice lap. Looked real good.
I thought you was mad at me.
Between he and Alan Gustafson, that was funny. 3 wins and 3 poles for Jeff Gordon here on the Magic Mile. But he hasn't won a race since 1998. His most recent pole coming
Larry,
2004.
You think if I'd have made Darrell, you know, if Darrell would have made me mad and I hadn't talked to him, think it'd have made a difference?
Probably not.
Probably
what
not.
do you think?
You work with him closer now than I do. You tell me.
You know, back to Jeff Gordon, though, another amazing stat about his 30 starts here. He's led over 1,200 laps at this 1-mile racetrack. First lap only good enough for 14th quickest at a 29.20.
Oh, he got loose off of 2.
But it didn't seem to hurt his time. Maybe it did on down the straightaway is what it looked like. Let's see what he can do here. Looked like he kind of eased it down into 3 and 4. But now, if you notice, that's opposite from what we've been seeing with most guys. His tracker went to the right getting in the corner, which means he didn't overdrive it, and it came back to the left on the exit. He's 6th quickest right now.
Kurt Busch still the guy to beat here in qualifying at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Coming up, you'll see Scott Speed and Ryan Newman. 21 drivers have qualified. We expect 45 to take time. 43 will start. Scott Speed is on the racetrack and on the clock.
Scott ended up surviving Infineon in pretty good shape. Ended up finishing 18th. Has 1 top 10 finish this year. Finished 10th at Atlanta back in the spring. About a month into his new venture, working with crew chief Ryan Pemberton over there now with the 82 car. First lap, 16th quickest for Scott at a 29.22. And we talked about A.J. Allmendinger sitting on the pole at Phoenix. This is the guy that sat on the outside of the front row in a pretty good run so far, halfway down the back straightaway off into turn 3. Just didn't get off the corner. Going to be a good run, but middle of 3 and 4 off is what hurt him there, Jeff.
Good pickup right there. Moves all the way up to 6th quickest.
Chevy bunch, they really work hard.
Comes the 2nd quickest Toyota behind Joey Logano, who is 4th right now.
Back to Marty.
And if you're going to look for Clint Boyer this weekend, you better look for the Zaxby's uniform, because he is not in the Cheerios uniform this weekend. So a little bit different colors for you. You are currently looking much less at the stopwatch and much more at the sky. Why is that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the cloud covers, play such a big role in this. Starting to see a little bit of cloud cover. Cars are really picking up. My teammate went out a little bit earlier than us and said he was slipping and sliding around a bunch. So hopefully the grip level's coming back in the racetrack and we get this Zaxby Chevrolet up front.
Yeah, that's the one thing. This big cloud that's come over the track, guys, a lot of drivers down here very, very happy about that cloud.
What I say earlier, Steve?
Pick up if there's one cloud.
Exactly. All of a sudden, if you look down at turn 3 and 4, I mean, definitely a lot of cloud cover there. That'll help that into the speedway a lot. Take a look here at Ryan Newman.
Yes,
now.
sir.
He knows how to get around this racetrack.
4 poles. Can he make it 5?
I just think he got into turn 3 way too deep. I just don't think it's going to get back there. It's going to be a great first lap for him, 28.92, but it was all the entrance getting into turn 3 that hurt him, I think. Now, this is the same car that he won Phoenix with back in the spring.
But Larry, here we go again. This time when he came off of turn 2, much solider. I think he's got an opportunity here to knock Kurt Busch off the pole.
It looks like it's stuck that time. It's going to, it's going to be close, real close. No, third, he stays third and picked up a little bit of 28.86. Both laps, middle 3 and 4 off is what hurt him.
Exactly.
Matt.
And catching up with Mark Martin, solid day so far. 7th in practice, solid qualifying effort. Much needed for you guys and this team to get a good jump start for the fall.
I just want to thank all the guys that work on this thing and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports and CarQuest and all the CarQuest teammates out there and GoDaddy.com. These guys have been digging hard and it's starting to bear a little fruit here today. We've been pretty far off lately on speed and we closed the gap some here today and look forward to working with this thing some tomorrow and just keep working. This team's determined. We'll get it.
How close are you to the setup from last fall, because it is the same tire?
No, that's been our problem, I think. I think we've been trying to go off of last year, and we've had to throw everything away in the last several weeks. That's hurt us, but, we're trying to find something new that works, and I think, it took us a while. We were just searching, like pin the tail on the donkey, and then all of a sudden Alan starts telling me all this stuff. The last several weeks have really been coming, and it's coming and coming, and I really am, I'm looking forward to getting back to Chicago and on to the rest of them, because I really think that we've got it on the run now, and I'm just proud of this race team.
Tell you what, speaking of got it on the run, yeah. David Ruderman on lap 1, 4th quickest at a 28.89. Looked like he did a good job of getting it down in the middle of 3 and 4. It's not going to be a pole run, but it's going to be a good run for him. He stays 4th, almost runs identical laps, lap 1 to 2.
We'll take a break here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Coming up, Bobby Labonte, Regan Smith, and Matt Kenseth. Regan Smith in the Furniture Row Chevrolet. Turns out he broke a wrist. His left wrist in a wreck at the Infineon Raceway.
Yeah, they got him fitted with a custom molded splint. He plans on doing everything this weekend, including going the entire race on Sunday.
Let's go back to Marty.
Well, walking along with Marcos Ambrose, who probably didn't have a very good week, but Marcos, put last week behind you yet?
I will in about 2 laps. Hopefully we'll get this finished off and feel good about ourselves and just look forward to the weekend's race. It's been a hard week, no doubt about it, but when you look back at it, mistakes happen and it's how you deal with them that makes all the difference. And for us, we're a strong team and we showed them we were there at Sonoma and we just didn't quite close it off. So you never know, this week could be our week.
You did handle it very well, by the way. Did a lot of media interviews this week. How was the car today, Marcos?
Yeah, car's good. 15th in practice. Pleased about that. I feel like if the cloud comes over at the right time for us, we've got a chance to qualify in the top 10 and set a good race up for us.
Tell you what, when you look at Phoenix and Richmond, 2 tracks they compared to New Hampshire, this 47 car was pretty good at both of those races, guys.
And I'm going to tell you, I was impressed with their strategy last week from a standpoint. They went into that race planning on a 3-stop race. Most people were doing 2 stops, like the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. They made adjustments on that car every stop. Every stop, the car got better.
And the thing is, right now, I talked to Frankie Kerr, and, you know, they're trying to put it behind them. They felt like they had a great opportunity to let one get away from them, but they're not going to dwell on that. They're going to move forward. They felt like qualifying today would be a great way to kind of like make a statement that, look, we might have made a mistake, but we still got the rest of the year to turn this thing around, and we still have Watkins Glen to go yet.
Regan Smith clocked in 11th of the 25 drivers who have qualified as we watch Matt Kenseth.
30th quickest in practice, and not a whole lot more impressive with this first lap. He's 23rd out of the 26 cars at a 29.35.
Car was all over the racetrack. He's still loose up off the top of turn 2 right there, late exit.
You know, honestly, none of the blue ovals right now very impressive in qualifying. Carl Edwards is the fastest Ford, 13th quickest in that 99 car.
See if Matt Kenseth picks up.
Little bit, but
Just
stays 23rd.
Let's go to Matt.
He missed a pole in 86 to an 84, but great run in the modified as well. It's going to be a fun weekend for you so far.
So far it has been. Haas Automation Chevrolet was good in practice. We struggled a little bit to start and made it better and got it better in qualifying trim, so happy about that. At least to have a good starting spot because it is a relatively short race. And yeah, really pumped up about the modified, having aggressive hydraulics and Menards on the car. And got to thank everybody for their support. Bono put together a really fast one this time.
All right, here and Bristol this year?
Here twice in Bristol in a modified. See, you even want to talk about the modified.
Everybody wants to talk about the modified. Guys?
Well, Matt, let's see what Pablo Montoya can do. He was the quickest in practice, started from the pole here last September and led 105 laps before finishing 3rd.
Now his time was a 28.76, which would certainly be quick enough to knock Kurt Busch off the pole if he can get there. Jeff, he definitely eased it down to 3 and 4 and picked up the throttle good. I'm not sure he's going to get there on lap 1. 5th quickest at a 28.94, so he needs to pick up a little over a 10th if he wants to knock Kurt Busch from the top.
It's good so far down on the back straightaway. Looks good.
He's got a little bit of a cloud cover in turns 3 and 4.
We ease it in here just like he did last time.
Right now he's about a 10th and a half to the good. Ooh. I believe it's going to get there. It'll get there.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Woo, 28.78. He pretty much backs up what he ran in practice.
Nice job.
And there goes the Kurt Busch sticky note.
It's the curse of Russell. 132.337 miles per hour. Sam Hornish Jr. in the 77 had a top 10 run here 1 year ago. He finished 8th. His best finish this season is 11th at Pocono. 29th in points.
Ooh, good lap. Good first lap.
Sure was. 6th overall for Sam Hornish Jr.
You know, right now, all 3 of the Penske Dodges up there in the top 10 with Kurt Busch 2nd, Brad Keselowski 9th.
When Larry watching those clouds in the sun, it's back sunshine over off of turn 4. It's been cloudy the last couple of cars. I think maybe Montoya took advantage of that.
Kind of rushed the throttle just a little bit. Just got back to it just a little bit too quick.
Matt Yoakum.
And he's on the pole by 6/100ths. Great date for you. Practice P1, qualifying currently P1.
Yeah, you know, this Target Chevy's been so good. Last year here we were really fast. I was surprised we were on pole. First lap was good, just a nice clean lap. Second lap I went for it, and in 3 I got really loose. I thought, oh my God, I think I lost a bunch of time there, but I think I came off the corner good enough to maintain it. So I don't know, it's one of those deals where, you know, when you got good cars, it's easy.
Bad news. Bill Sloboda just put up a sticky note about Juan Pablo Montoya.
But you know what? Not to underestimate anyone, including this 33 car of Clint Boyer. I think most of the big bullets for qualifying has already been fired, so we just have to see.
Well, like you, and I think right now the clouds have gone away, and all of a sudden there's sun back on turn 3 and 4. That's also going to make a big difference. And he talked about 3 and 4, what he gave up there. But the key was, Larry, he nailed 1 and 2. He made up so much time and really bought him a lot of insurance time through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway.
Well, turn 3 and 4 has either been the best friend or the worst enemy for everybody.
Exactly.
Clint Boyer comes to New Hampshire 14th in points, and he has 74 out of 12 10 races to go to determine who will make the 2010 chase.
And just remember, in those 10 races, where those 10 races for the chase starts, right back here.
Ah, did you hear that? One of the first times I've heard one of those right there.
Rev limiter, yep.
Rev limiter right there cutting in.
And that a lot of times, it doesn't necessarily mean you overdrove that corner. It means you got a good run off of the last corner off of turn 2. Pretty good lap for Clint Boyer. He jumps up to 7th quickest, 28.95 on lap 2.
Boyer won from the pole here in 2007, spanked the field, led 222 laps. Coming up, Casey Kane and Marcus Ambrose. Stay with us. David Reagan up next in the UPS Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. 6 New Hampshire starts. Best starting position of 14th. His best finish here, 15th.
Wasn't too bad in this morning's practice. He was 16th quickest. Back that up.
You know, we talk about all the different winners here. Roush Fenway, they've got 7 Cup wins here, though. It'll be about a mid-pack run for him. Right now, he's 15th quickest, picks up to a 29.06 on lap 2.
And that is better than what he practiced at.
Another one of those teams that went up to Milwaukee and tested here recently.
David Reagan, the 30th driver to qualify. Go back to Marty.
Max Pappas told me if I needed him, he would be in his office, and here he is in his office. First Cup start for you, and yet you tell me here in New Hampshire, and you tell me you're not nervous. How was that?
I know I have a great crew, very good guys in the Geico crew, you know, and I tell you, like, you know, the best things I can do is my 100%, being offensive, and that's what we do here in the Geico Toyota. And I feel it's a great track, you know, quite a difficult place to get around, but Booty and all the guys gave me really good advice, and I feel that, you know, I'm just gonna go out there and give it a go, and we see how it is, you know, but it's just exciting to be here, great opportunity, and I can promise you guys out there, and first of all, let me say hi to my wife and my kids at home. They're listening, love you guys. You can count that I'm gonna only have one gear, 100%.
All right, and he told me, everybody all day long has told me how hard it is to qualify here. He said, I'm not gonna leave anything out on that racetrack.
Tell you what, I don't think Casey Kane left anything either, because he's 2nd quickest on lap 1 at a 28.82.
That's a great first lap right there for the 9 car.
See if Casey can pick up just a little bit.
He's giving back a little bit too much right there.
He's going to stay 2nd. Almost runs identical laps. This little old team right here, 18th in the points, right at 150 points out of the top 12. They've picked up a lot of points the last 2 races with those back-to-back top 5s.
Don't
Five
count them
spots. 5 spots in the last 2 races.
Definitely not a lame duck driver.
Coming up, Marcus Ambrose. You see him there in the 47 car. Then Paul Menard, Andy Lally in the 71 car this week. Bobby Labonte has departed from that race team.
You know, we were talking during that Sprint Cup Series practice. Of course, Marty just interviewed Marcos a while ago. It's so hard to win in this series. I mean, you just look at the teams that's not won in a long time. I mean, Roush Fenway does not have but 1 win since Matt won at Auto Club Speedway back last February. And these guys were in a position to win a Sprint Cup Series race. I think that's probably the most devastating. Not that they necessarily lost that race, but how hard it is to put yourself in position to win one.
And not saying he can't win here, but, you know, that was his best opportunity to win in the Cup Series. He raced on road courses in Australia for years. And Larry, as you mentioned, he won 27 races in a 2-year span in the Australian V8 Supercar Series. It's just, I think everybody knows that was his best opportunity.
Tell you what, he laid down a pretty good first lap, 11th quickest at a 29 flat. Don't know if he's going to be able to better that here on lap 2, but that's a pretty good first lap for him.
Slowed down just a hair. On Sunday, join JR, Kenny, Hermie, Wendy, and Mr. Excitement Jimmy Spencer as they give you the ultimate setup before NASCAR's best hit the Magic Mile. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, live from New Hampshire, Sunday at 10 Eastern and it's only on speed.
You've changed that promo.
What?
Earlier it was special guest Jimmy Spencer.
I said Mr. Excitement.
Okay, and I want to know about the shirt with Mr. E on.
Mr. E, you want to know why it says Mr. E?
Mr. Excitement, is he going to have that shirt on Sunday?
Oh, if he's going to wear that shirt.
And tell us what the deal is.
What's the deal? And will he have a crying towel?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right about that. He might want to do that from the cozy confines of the Speed Network as opposed to the Speed stage.
Nowhere near the competitors.
Nope. Nope.
Are you trying to say kind of like, don't be waving the flag at the Bulls?
Yeah, something like that.
Paul Menard struggled a little bit earlier in practice. He was 29th quickest.
He's going to be pretty decent here. He's 12th quickest on his first lap.
29.01.
In fact,
big pickup.
The Richard Petty Motorsports Fords are kind of carrying the blue oval. You've got Casey Kane second, Paul Menard 12th right now. David Reagan is the fastest of the Roush Fenway group, back in 18th quickest.
And Juan Pablo Montoya is the quickest at a 28.71. Coming up after Paul Menard, we will see Andy Lally. He's the final driver who's locked in. Then knockout qualifying starts here on the Magic Mile. Andy Lally, the final driver, locked into the show. Mentioned just a bit ago that he is replacing Bobby Labonte for this race. Labonte terminated his contract earlier in the week and actually will be driving for Robbie Gordon this week. Then in the 09 for James Finch over the next two races.
This is pretty much, boys, he has his hands full with this 71 car. He only has one start in the Sprint Cup Series, talking about Andy Lally, and that was at Watkins Glen last year in 2009. For the most part, this is a one-race deal because he runs 3 road race series full-time, so he's a very busy man.
Yeah, he's 4th right now in the Grand Am Series GT standings, 3-time Grand Am champion.
And Larry, he's been a little bit busy behind the wheel of that 71 car.
He has that. Right now, he's 33rd out of our 34 cars, but this car is locked into the top 35. He didn't get the word until Tuesday that he was even going to be in this car here this weekend.
Matt Yoakum.
And catching up with Casey Kane. Short debrief with Juan Montoya. Reviewing your lap in your mind, was there one spot where you felt like if you could have done it over, you might have been able to improve your time?
I felt like it was a pretty decent lap. I felt pretty good. From where we were in practice, Budweiser 4, but maybe a little bit in 3. Maybe left a little bit there. I was a touch tight, so I didn't want to get in too hard right there. And I don't know if I left anything there or not, but it was still a good lap. Montoya was quick this morning, so I wasn't surprised he's still fast. And just happy to have another good qualifying run. It should be a good spot for Sunday.
Good luck Sunday.
Thanks.
Matt Michael McDowell in the 55 car was 6th fastest of the go or go home drivers in practice. Travis Quapple was the quickest. Juan Pablo Montoya, the man to beat at a 28.78, 132.337 miles per hour.
Now, we still have one car in the top 35 to go, and that would be Bobby Labonte in the number 7 car of Robbie Gordon Motorsports. But near the closing minutes of that hour-and-a-half practice session we had, he got loose off turn 4, hit the wall. They had to go to a backup car. They're still trying to get out there to get a qualifying run in on that 71 car.
You know, on the 7 car.
On the 7 car.
Yeah. 7 car is on the 5-minute clock that we're coming from NASCAR, and we go to Marty.
Well, if they're on the 5-minute clock now, Steve, they may not make this qualifying session. They are just now entering the 3rd of 4 phases in the quality inspection process. They still have a ways to go, and Bobby Labonte not by the car at the current moment. So as you see, they have this final inspection process here inside the garage area. One more when they get to pit road, and then they can go qualify. So they might be up against the clock here and going to be tough to make this qualifying session for the 7 car. As you mentioned, Larry Mack, this happened about 30 minutes before the end of that one practice session, and Bobby Labonte walking up to the car right now, so they are up against it whether or not they can qualify today in the 7 car.
Well, the good news is they'll get some practice tomorrow, hopefully, if we don't have weather moved in. So he'll get some laps on that car. As we mentioned, he's locked into the show.
Just 2 minutes remaining on the 5-minute clock for Bobby Labonte in the 7 car. We mentioned earlier, Robbie Gordon coming off a great finish at the Infineon Raceway, actually making a sponsorship proposal in Argentina.
Now, this is Mike Bliss in the 09 car. The word is, at least next week at Daytona, Bobby Labonte will be in this 09 car.
And I believe he's scheduled to drive it at Chicagoland as well, Bobby Labonte is.
You talking about the 09?
Yes.
Yes, sir. That's what Bobby told me this morning.
Yeah, and Daytona will be his 600th career start, talking about Bobby Labonte.
Little wiggle there off 2 for Mike Bliss.
I feel pretty good about Michael McDowell's 29.46, but I think Mike Bliss has got some work to do from that first lap of 29.88. Don't feel good about that lap at all. Not sure he's going to be any better here on lap 2 as he slows down about a 10th.
Up next, Max Pappas. Then it's Travis Kvapil, Todd Bodine, and Dave Blaney. And we'll give you an update on Bobby Labonte's effort in the 7 car as soon as we get it. Time running out, but they are locked into the show. Juan Pablo Montoya, can he hang on for the pole position? We'll find out. Max Pappas said he will make a 100% effort. Let's see what he can do in this Geico Toyota.
I can live with 100%. Just don't give me 110% on this qualifying lap.
That right there, my friend, will lock you in.
He's in 29.29.
See if Peter lets him go ahead and run another lap.
Peter Suspenzo, the crew chief.
Ease her down in there, Max. It's a little tail happy off of 4, lose a little bit of time.
First lap was a 29.29.
July 11th, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series invades the Hawkeye State. Speed is there for all the 3-wide, door-to-door, full-throttle excitement. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Iowa, July 11th at 1:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
Booty Barker's going to kill me.
What'd you do?
I said Peter Suspenzo.
And then you backed him up.
Well, the man just said Peter. I was just trying to clean up his mess.
Well, why didn't you say
you added to the
I could have
mess?
said Peter Pan.
He said first name, you said last name.
Oh, hang on to her. Hang on to her.
We got a mess here. You got to start and regroup, Travis Kvapil. You see he's trying to get those tires. He got up so high that you actually pick up those little pebbles of rubber, and it'll make the car like it's on ice. And that's what Travis was trying to do down the backstretch, is get those tires cleaned up.
He was on ice, and he was just trying to not compound it.
We know this will not be a good lap, but the hopes will be that he can recover here on lap 2.
Now, he was the slowest of 38 drivers. Getting word, too, from NASCAR that time has expired on the 7 cars' efforts to get that car to the grid.
Now, the little green stripe, that represents Michael McDowell right now in that 55 car. You want to get to the left of that if you want to lock in. Is not going to do it, so that should lock Michael McDowell. Travis Kvapil does beat Mike Bliss, though, on that second lap. So that puts him right there on the cusp of getting in.
Marty Snyder.
Well, the 7 car rolling away from the final inspection spotted, but as you mentioned, Steve, the clock up on the 5-minute clock up on this car. So I guess the good news is you're locked in the show, right, Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, we changed a couple things this morning on the car. We got better in the second run, and then we went to the third run, which made a qualifying run. we thought we tightened it up, but not sure exactly what happened there, but it got freer. So, but the backup car will be good, but it'll be tomorrow before we get to run it.
Well, for this process, they were going to try to get through inspection and try to qualify, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. That was our main goal, but it just took so much time to get it going, and everybody's worked real hard. I mean, way too hard, and I created a lot of that work for them. But it's a process, and to go through inspection, and it's a process to do this. So, luckily tomorrow we'll just start over, from today.
All right, guys, they are locked in the show, and they did make an effort to get this car into the qualifying line and get through the inspection line, but they just weren't able to get it all completed in time.
And there's a good chance that he was not going to cut a real fast lap, but if anything, it would have just given him a couple laps in that backup car.
It would have been good if he could have, but I think, again, they knew what they were, what the situation is, Larry. They knew they had practice tomorrow. Weather looks good, so it's not like if you don't get a couple laps on it tomorrow, this afternoon, it's a big deal. So probably the best thing for them to do now is take it back to the garage area, continue to work on it, get it like it needs to be, and then come out tomorrow morning, take advantage of those practice sessions.
Well, somebody let Todd Bodine know real quick that you are in after lap 1, so he'll shut her down at a 29.71. He's in.
Coming up, Dave Blaney, David Stremme, J.J. Yaley, Joe Nemechek, and Casey Mears in the 36. Stay with us. Back at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, qualifying for Sunday's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race. The Lenox Industrial Tools 301.
Dave Blaney was the 4th quickest of the go-or-go homers earlier today in that practice in this 66 car. Right now, the 2 cars on the outside looking in, Travis Quapple and Mike Bliss.
Max Pappas, Michael McDowell, and Todd Bodine all locked in.
They're looking for a little bit of help. I'm talking about Bliss and Quapple. Right now, Blaney looks like he's got a very solid lap coming if he can just get off of turn 4.
I was talking to Tommy Baldwin this morning, the owner of the 36 car. We have 45 cars here. It looks like Blaney will lock in on lap 1. And he said, Larry, even though that's 10 go-or-go homers, when you look at those 10 go-or-go homers, any one of them can cut a lap fast enough to get in this show. You don't go through there and look and go, he's probably not going to run quick enough. Any of those cars can run quick enough to qualify.
Which just puts even more pressure on.
Absolutely. Blaney's going to go ahead and run this second lap.
Picks up a little bit.
33rd quickest, but he's in.
Had several drivers describe it as having the weight of the world lifted off of your shoulders every Friday when you make one of these races.
This is David Stremme in the 26 car. He was the slowest of the go-or-go homers.
Come watch NASCAR's finest race, one of the most historic tracks in the country. Save up to $40 on specially priced Indianapolis Motor Speedway Brickyard 400 ticket packages, and also receive free gifts and at-track discounts. Visit speed.com, keyword promo for more information.
Well, this team had a great run last week at Infineon with Boris Said, and I was talking to Bill Jenkins earlier today, the owner of this 26 car. You see the air guard that's on there. They are hosting 200 family members here this weekend of guardsmen that's deployed, the families of those guardsmen. And then the thing he was really impressed about is he's able to put another sponsor on this car, is he is locked into the show with that first lap. As you see that company right there on the side of this car, the GPS group, what that is, that's a system you can put on your car. And let's just say you're a teenager, you've programmed it to where you don't want their car to go over 65 miles an hour. If they go over 65, it'll send your phone a text message.
Man, slow down, boy.
And I mean, you can even do things like if your car's parked in an airport parking lot and you're gone for about a week, you can program it. That's where your car's at. If it moves, it'll send you a text message.
That happens to Hammond every week. Even if the car doesn't move, he can't remember where it is.
Don't be telling on me.
Here, boy. Here, boy. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from New Hampshire is presented by Subway Restaurants. So many $5 foot-long subs to choose from. Enjoy amazing value at Subway all day, every day. And brought to you in part by Kills Primers. Kills, the perfect start to a great finish. 46 car being driven by J.J. Yaley was 8th in practice of the go or go home drivers.
JJ has done a really outstanding job since he's come on board this 46 car. He's made every race he's attempted so far, and again, dealing with the pressure. I think he's happy being there for the pressure because he was away from the sport for quite a while, but right now he's been doing a really good job.
And I don't think it'll be any question on this first lap. He becomes the second fastest go-or-go homer, 33rd quickest at a 29.38, so he's locked in. He will race on Sunday. But he's done a really nice job stepping in. Had been out of the sport for quite a while. Got injured last year, I think, in a sprint car out west.
Yep.
Good lap for him. I think he's going to slow down, but by about a 10th, the 33rd quickest so far.
Final two drivers scheduled to qualify. Joe Nemechek in the 87 and then Casey Mears in the 36.
Joe Nemechek in this 87 car, past winner from here at Loudon. He was the second quickest of the go or go home cars in practice.
As we mentioned, he got a win here with Felix Sabates back in 1999, driving the 42 car. Had 72 laps that afternoon.
Just needs to be a 29.83, which is what Travis Quapple in that 38 car ran a little earlier.
Joe's always been good here at Loudon. I mean, back even in the Nationwide Series, he had a pretty good battle one time with Dale Earnhardt.
Yes, he did. Summer of 1992. Yes, he did. Beat Dale Earnhardt.
Tell you what, he did a nice job of getting through the middle of 3 and 4 and picking that throttle up. He's going to become the quickest of the go-or-go homers, 22nd quickest for Joe.
29.12.
So that will send Mike Bliss and that 09 team to the house.
Larry, he continues to gain down that back straightaway.
He's going for a whole lot more down here. Eased her down into turn 3 and 4. This is where he was so good earlier. You see how much the tracker went to the right, back to the left. He's working on a top 10 run here.
Outstanding effort right there by Joe Nemechek.
7th overall.
Excellent job there, bud. Ran a 29.12 on the first lap and a 28.91 on the second lap.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but can you imagine if they could get financial help, how fast they would be? Look at the teams they beat. I mean, he's the second quickest Toyota behind David Rudiman only.
Faster than Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon.
All 3 Gibbs cars
Denny
is faster.
Hamlin,
Our winner last year, Joey Logano.
Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick.
Put the
That's
smack
amazing.
down.
Yes, he
Put
did.
the smack down on him.
28.91. Now the final driver to qualify is Mike Bliss. Want to mention, unfortunately, or I'm sorry, Mike Bliss is bumped out. Casey Mears, the final driver to qualify.
Yeah, a couple of cars will be watching this run by Casey Mears. Obviously Montoya, who's on the pole, and then right now Travis Quapple, who's just right there on the bubble.
Larry, he drove it in pretty hard in 1 and 2, and he got by with it. I don't know if he can do it down here in 3 and 4 and get away with it. He gave up a lot of speed off the exit of that corner.
I think he's going to be okay, Jeff. I think he's going to easily get in. He got off the corner good, so he will race on Sunday. And this team, they do plan on racing Sunday.
And unfortunately, that sends Travis Quapple and that 38 team home.
29.14. Don't overdrive 3 here, buddy.
That's Tommy Baldwin, the owner of this 36 car. He knows the car's in right now, like Joe Nemechek, just trying to improve on that a little bit.
So Juan Pablo Montoya will become the 12th different pole winner in this 2010 season.
Picks up a little bit, but he'll stay 23rd, but he will race on Sunday.
So Travis Quapple and Mike Bliss bumped out of the show. And Juan Pablo Montoya is your pole sitter. Let's take a look at the front row for Sunday's Lenox Industrial Tools 301.
Couple of guys that need to get to victory lane here on Sunday. Couple of guys that are well outside the top 12, trying to get there over these next 10 races.
They got 10 races to go, as you just said, Larry, and they can get it done, and they know how to get it done.
Let's go to Marty Snyder.
Well, I guess you're going to pick a track to win a pole at. New Hampshire's probably a pretty good one, Juan Pablo. To start up front, it means a lot here, doesn't it? Because track position is everything at this racetrack.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think the position we are in the points, you know, with the Target Chevy, we definitely need to have good results, and we got a good race car. You know, right now we're running really good. Here, you know, last time we were here, we ran really well, so hoping for the same thing.
You know, you talk about your points position, and Brian Patton and I talked a few weeks ago, and he said conservative top 10s. Now has that changed? Now do you have to be more aggressive and just simply go for wins every week?
No, we still plan the same thing. You know, we gotta, you know, we gotta try to finish as high as we can, but we gotta finish.
Yeah.
We can't afford to start getting DNFs and stuff. You know, it's been a rough season for us. We had really fast race cars every week, and we've been involved in a lot of wrecks that hasn't even been our fault. So it's part of, you know, part of what racing is, but you know, as a team, we're working really hard, and it's nice to be up front.
All right, I know it's important to you. Windsurfing, probably what, number 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Golf's up there. So how much of that did you do this week?
Did twice windsurf, once golf. I think in Miami you don't get a lot of wind, so every time you get a little bit of wind, you gotta go out.
All right, so for the rest of the year, you got to go windsurfing twice and play golf once, right?
If you get the wind, yeah, I can go to Aruba or something like that during the week. Yeah.
Here's what I want to suggest. How about we get Larry Mack and Jeff Hammond on the windsurfing thing with you? How would that work out? Come on. I mean, that would be at least funny, right?
Yes, I would agree with you on the funny part. It's you know it's really funny when you see somebody windsurfing. It looks so easy.
Yeah.
You know, just relaxing and you're hooked in.
Right.
And it's a freaking handful.
All right, Larry Mack and Jeff, are you guys up for that or not?
See,
Juan has put out the invitation. It's open, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, it's open. You guys want it?
I'm trying to figure out if Marty Snyder was making fun of us or if Montoya or both of them.
I'm not making fun of you. No, none of us are. He's just saying the skill is acquired, right?
A lot of skill and practice.
Yes, a lot of skill and practice. So if you guys want to hang out in Miami, Juan has got the open invitation. Whenever you want, windsurfing and a free round of golf, right?
Yeah, you want golf, I get golf as well.
Yeah, exactly right. He'll clean you up on both sports. He doesn't mind. He'll take you in both sports. He'll take your money both times, guys.
Now, based on some of his friends that Jeff and I saw at Homestead, we'll be glad to hang out in Miami, but I'm not sure we want to go windsurfing.
He's got some talented friends.
Exactly right.
Well, unfortunately, Mike Bliss and Travis Quapple will not race here this weekend. The only drivers failing to qualify for Sunday's race. Juan Pablo Montoya, your pole sitter, alongside Casey Kane on the front row. Stay with us here in New Hampshire. Qualifying in the books here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for Sunday's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series event. Juan Pablo Montoya, the pole sitter. Let's take a look at the starting grid for Sunday's race, which is 301 laps.
Well, you see Kurt Busch there on the inside of row 2. I think he's going to be awfully tough. And Ryan Newman, the man that won at a very similar racetrack back in the spring, back at Phoenix. And how about Joe Nemechek, a go homer, well up in the top 10.
A great effort right there, but I don't want to overlook Mark Martin, last fall's winner here. I mean, there looks like that 5 car starting to get their act together.
Great effort by Joe Nemechek and a team he owns, underfunded. Top 10 start for Nemechek.
Good runs for Brad Keselowski. Scott Speed there on row 7 and row 8.
I'm going to go back up to row 6. Marcus Ambrose, good effort right there trying to pick their act up after having that disappointment over at Infineon.
And next to him, Joey Logano, the defending champion of this race.
Speaking of champions, well, leading our championship point leader right now, Kevin Harvick, starting back in row 12. Got a little bit of work to do if he's going to have a good day here come Sunday.
Tony Stewart, I think he's got a better car than 25th. He was the very first car to go out when qualifying started.
Yeah, luck of the draw right there didn't help him any, but also that guy starting beside him, Mark Truex Jr., usually runs well here.
A couple of the Roush Fenway Fords back on row 17, Matt Kenseth and Greg Biffle.
Andy Lally making the start in the 71 car.
Bobby Labonte did not make a qualifying attempt, but that team was locked in, and they'll be with a backup car when they get practice going tomorrow.
Third career pole for Juan Pablo Montoya in his 126th start. Third pole of the year as well for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing.
So he pretty much breaks the streak of 8 different pole winners in the last 8 races, but still no repeat race winner in the past 10 races here.
I don't think we can overlook the fact it's a short race, guys. Starting up front is going to be a big plus, and having that #1 pit spot is also going to be huge, I think, come Sunday.
Don't forget trackside at 11 p.m. Eastern. Jeff Burton and Carl Edwards will join our Friday night party. And coming up directly, Barrett Jackson, Orange County. Fine looking rides over there. 3 days of coverage.
Still not too late, guys.
Put it in order.
See it.
I'm out.